It is January 6th, 2025. It is Monday. Happy Monday to everyone. The kidlets are back in school for the next semester and all of the things, and I'm here with you to talk about the Bar 5 in the 10 Days of Thanks soap, the 12 months of soap giveaway that we are doing, the set and all the things with the Sudsers, and I'm excited to talk about it. And I will do all of those things and tell you more about Bar 5, the May bar, in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for Bar 5 and Day 2 in our 10 Days of Thanks. I know, I am really into numbers, just generally. I have all kinds of... So it can be confusing. Yes, another confusing with all of this is Bar 5 is the May bar for the 12 months of soap package that we did for, sales and everything over the holiday season, but also the giveaway that we will be doing for the Sudsers. So 10 lucky Sudsers will be winning the 12 months of soap package at the end of this series. So I'm very excited for that. May's bar, Bar 5, is a carrot infusion, and we did a fair amount of carrot content on the channel in 2024, and I loved it, but that was also where everything kind of started going sideways for me as far as content and time management and all of the things. And one of the reasons why it went sideways as far as content was because I filmed a crap ton of wild experiments with carrot infusions. We were doing different hydrosols, we had all the beakers and the Bunsen burners and all of the things out to do extracts, and I delivered some of that to you, but also was delivering it in a very strange way, kind of, because I wanted to keep it sort of, newbie accessible, you know what I mean, while going into some more heavily detailed, more scientific things, right? And so I didn't want everybody's head to hurt, but ultimately a lot of heads could hurt with some of the stuff that we were doing. So I'm not going to get too terribly into all of the different extractions and methods that we used for carrot within this video. I'm just going to talk about what we did within this particular soap and my overall findings with carrots generally. And we're going to continue on with the color and all of the things to make the theme work throughout everything and all the jazz. Yeah, so that's what we're doing today for Monday. I assume that I'm going to get it out. Let's see. Anyway, let's get to the video and the making, and we can talk more about this awesome bar of soap and obviously also tell you how you can win it. Okay, so bar number 5, which would be the May soap for 12 months of soap. And we are looking at, again, a 3-sectioned, equal portions in each, and a 3-color swirl in the middle, which will be a coral color, a white, and I think a light green. Because as I said in yesterday's video, I like to be able to take one of the colors from the previous bar and put it into the next, just to make sure that everything is like cohesive throughout the whole thing, if that makes sense. But anyway, yes, coral, light green and white, and the actual oils for this one are going to be infused with carrot. So I'm still using my Big Bubble blend that I used for yesterday, and the scent is going to be sage leaf, which is a delightful scent as well. That was a really great one to include with the carrot deep dive that we did on the channel for sure. The sage leaf, it's so green. I think the only scent that I've ever described as dirt, but in a good way, is this and this tomato coriander thing that we heard, or that we got, I think from Nature's Garden. I want to say that's from Nature's Garden. I don't know. I stopped using it probably 4+ years ago, so I'm really not sure. But anyway, delightful scent, very, very dirt in a really good way. And so I thought that would be really good for a carrot soap. So the infusion with all of this, you can do a number of things with carrots, which we did do for when we did the deep dives. And I ultimately decided that the best thing to do for this soap was to use carrot infused oils. And so what I did with that was I ground down a whole bunch of carrots and I infused them in my oils for a while. So again, still my lots of lather, 30% coconut oil, 30% palm, 30% olive, 5% castor, and 5% shea. And yeah, I have changed it. So I don't know the last time I gave you my big bubble. The only reason that this has been changed at this exact moment is because when it became time to do master batch for my big bubble blend, I didn't have enough of something. And so essentially I had to adjust some ratios and change the formulation a little bit. 5% castor oil, a lot of people do say that they don't like going above like 3%, and I can see why that would be the case. I know that we've done some tests with castor oil on the channel before, and I know that I had a very vivid, unfortunate experience, very vivid memory of miscalculating castor into a batch at some point, and I ended up with a pretty high amount of castor. I want to say well over 10, and the soaps ended up super rubbery, like really, really rubbery, and I just kind of let them sit. I had one of those blue tray molds from Brambleberry, the circle ones, and I just let them sit in the mold for like 4 or 5 months to see how can I get it out easier? Is this possible? Just looking at it, playing with it, because whatever, for 4 or 5 months, and they never did get unrubbery, ever. What I ultimately did with that was I threw it away. You don't have to do that though. In any case, almost all soaps are salvageable. And so you could totally just, I could have, like, just shredded it down and added other oils and another lye solution, done a hot process method to the existing, and kind of modified it from that. Of course, excluding the castor oil, so from the recipe, so it wouldn't be adding more of the same there, and putting more lye solution in to make up for the additional castor that I had. Or you could, I don't know, probably soap shred it into some confetti and put it into another soap, so the overly squishy of the castor won't super matter. Thing is, they don't lather well when they're real squishy like that. When they're squishy because they have an excess of something like castor. Castor oil with the ricinoleic acid, it's a very, I don't know, it's kind of a hard one, So it's a very unique fatty acid. And so if you do use too much, things can start being sort of rubbery in nature. It's kind of the nature of the beast with castor oil. So anyway, with this one, I infused the olive oil. I found that olive oil is the easiest to infuse, just for clarity, really. When I was doing all of the different tests from month to month, I wanted to make sure that there was a standard, for all the different weird experiments I was doing with infusions. And so for the most part, unless I specified otherwise within a video or whatnot, I would put the infusions into the olive oil just so I knew what I was working with at all times. So that is what I did. Now, these colors that I'm working with here, really cute. Didn't I use like I don't know, I think it's called like fizzy lemonade or something for a pigment, I believe, that came from Brambleberry at some point. Also this, I think I may have put that into the orange to get a coral color. I don't actually have any orange right now. I have a little bit left of a pigment and like no micas. And so I'm having to sort of like mix yellow and reds, but reds are tough too because I don't really have a lot of red. I am actively working toward getting rid of all of my colorants so I can buy like a whole new set with a different manufacturer. And that's not to say that I don't like Mad Micas. I love Mad Micas. I think they're great, but I want to try somebody else. And that is to say that I don't like Brambleberry's labels. I love Anne Marie, but I haven't shopped from Brambleberry in, oh gosh, I want to say at least 2 years at this point. I used to just I hadn't shopped from them much in the past like 6 or 7 years, just once in a very, very great while, if I had a specific scent that only they did. But now I've just moved on to having other companies dupe the scent for me because they can do it for a lot cheaper. And I do that instead, and I just really don't do Brambleberry because Brambleberry is built for the hobbyist. So it's like going to Michael's or Joann's to get your melt and pour versus making it yourself, or going to Soaper's Choice or Wholesale Supplies Plus or whoever sells melt and pour. You're going to be paying a lot more for a lesser amount. You know what I mean? Brambleberry's great, just not for my volume. Okay, and on to the pour. And first layer obviously is going to be the coral going in. And everything is so blown out on these damn videos, as I don't know if I said it yesterday, but if I didn't, yeah, the shaking and the exposure, they're both going to be weird in all of these videos because I kind of made them all at the same time. And I didn't have my camera set up on a proper thing because I didn't want to. It was kind of in the middle of a whole lot going on. And so I just popped the camera onto the counter and just connected it with a clamp and did all the things. And so it bumps, but also I have right in front, so to the top of the screen there's like 8 windows across. And so right now I'm like soaping in broad daylight, but a couple hours prior I was soaping in pitch blackness, you know? And so the lighting changes as a result. And I think I overexposed it thinking that it wasn't going to be. Anyway, it's all a thing. The point of all of that is to say that the orange that's in the base, it actually has a really nice coral color. It's not as pumpkin-y as that is, you know, looking like on the screen. Also, it doesn't help that I'm filming on the wrong part of the counter with all the different colors, like the blues and the greens and the yellows. And so the camera's just having a hard time adjusting, I'm sure, to figure out what is what. I get it. It's all a thing. You're going to have to deal with it for the 10 days of thanks because it is what it is. I go back to regular filming and proper setup for videos following this. But I wanted to get 10 days of thanks out. I actually had a plan to get 10 days of thanks out for Christmas. And so right after like end of shipping. So like on the 23rd or 24th, and then just go through the new year for it. And then, you know, Christmas happened and I wanted to hang out with my family and not edit videos. And so that didn't happen. So we're here now. But also with this, do you see how thin that batter is? We're still working with incredibly thin batter. The trick to something like this is going to be a more medium weight consistency for this batter. You see just how thin it is. With carrot infusions, I haven't found that there's any real difference in reaching emulsion. Like yesterday we talked about how quickly I thought we would hit emulsion with the sea moss, and it turned out to be the opposite of that because, you know, that's how it was. And with the carrot, I didn't notice any discernible difference between, you know, the trace time effectively. And so I don't know why I didn't mix this more. Maybe I just wasn't thinking. This is one of the very cool things about doing videos, because when you're in the mix of it, when you're in the whole mess and you have, you know, let's say 14 soaps in a row to do, right? Well, you're in maker mode at that point. You're not really in problem solving mode. You're in, I need to get this done. I have 14 soaps to make. I have an hour and a half with which to make them. It needs to be done quickly, efficiently, etc. and so forth. And so you just kind of go. But if you filmed your footage, you can do something like this and go back and look at it and go, well, why didn't I do that? And then, you know, make your notes. So you make sure that you know, don't do the same thing over and over again, which is, I'm fearing ultimately what I end up doing for every single one of these soaps moving forward. I genuinely don't remember because I actually filmed all this quite a while ago. And so we're just kind of seeing the footage for the same time at the same time together. It's awesome. But I am doing like a little pointy layers, thin lines, pour technique with all of that, just really thin batter and going back and forth over and over again. Now the batter's starting to thicken up, but oof, I just kind of had a slip of the wrist there and it went below the surface of the rest of the soap, which would actually be a good thing for this particular pour, because I want swirls, it wouldn't be a good thing if you were trying to do pointy layers or a thin lines, because the whole point of that is really, really thin batter, just very gently and annoyingly putting it down over and over again until your whole color, your next color, is covered up the bottom. You get it. We've done it before. I keep talking about techniques because that's ultimately what we are going to be doing for content for year 5, which I'm very, very excited about. Sudsers probably don't know yet. I think I said in yesterday's video that I was going to get it out, but I didn't do that. I haven't done that. And so it will be out soon, but right now we're doing this. But ultimately what we're going to be doing for the 2025 content in year 5 is I'm going to get really, really good at techniques. And I gave the reasons as to why in the Sudsers video, like why I wanted to do this, and sort of how kind of complicated it was on year 4, doing a whole ass deep dive onto like one particular ingredient. Well, I thought it was going to be really cool, and it was. It just did require a whole lot of my brain power to make sure that all of the information that I either learned through the research and the tests, or that I knew for this particular ingredient, was going to be given to the Sudsers in a timely and reasonable manner, and so I wasn't all over the board. And that did require a lot of brain power that, unfortunately, in 2024, I didn't have. And that was 100% of the content for 2024. That was the plan, that was the goal, and I felt terrible trying to mix it up, just like I feel terrible about trying to go fast with this last layer, and I totally got the white all up in the swirly portion. So again, for this one, we will not be getting 3 strict layers. Cool, love that for me. But anyway, so that made it really, really difficult because brain power was required for every single video, and I was using my brain for all kinds of other things. And so I decided that a nice happy medium for year 5 would be doing this thing that I've wanted to do for a while, like actually getting really, really good at all these techniques instead of just saying, the mind will fill in the blanks. Like actually thinking about it and applying a method of, a version of the scientific method to the pours to really nail some awesome techniques. Like maybe even pull-throughs. I might even do that. Who knows? I still think they're stupid, but I don't know. But I wanted to also marry that with the cool information that I like to give anyway, because I find the how or the why or all of the background information so much more interesting and so much better to deliver to the Sudsers than here is a really pretty soap, So I definitely want to be able to marry the two of them. So I guess technically speaking, I'm going back to content that I've already done before, except the goal that I do have in mind is for every single one of the designs that I do, I'm going to be really good at them by the end of it, which is a lofty goal. Not going to lie. I've never been much of the design person, but I do make one heck of a formulation, if I do say so myself, and I just did. So there's that. Now, with the sculpting of all of this, I probably could have let it sit a little bit longer because it is so thin. I was running out of time and needed to get this off of the counter so we could film another one and use the camera for the next soap. And so I did not do that. But normally, if I were trying for this soap and actually paying attention and thinking, I probably would have gotten a hot heating pad out and put it underneath the soap itself and turned it on high and allowed the soap that was in the mold to start setting up and getting into its gel phase while I continued to pour the rest, or, take the stir stick back to the batch, which is not something that I ever really do, as you all well know. Well, you that are, OG Sudsers. But we can do Sudsers every day. It was crazy. When I went on a break, it was so fun. There were still daily comments all of the time, all kinds of comments every day from new people that were going through old footage. And that's really dope because soap is evergreen. Soap content is evergreen. So that works out really well. But with this, I probably would have allowed it to firm up a little bit more before doing all of this, just so I could get a better sculpted top. I am currently editing the footage for, I think, video or soap 9 for September. Like I'm doing that in addition to, talking to you. And the soap batter is definitely thicker. So at some point I do start being a little bit more heavy-handed with my stick blender throughout this whole process to make sure that everything is set up better so I can get a better sculpted top and nice structured layers. But for this one, it kind of is what it is. It's obviously the orange is going to be there, the coral, because it's a carrot, and the yellow that looks like a yellow. It's not a yellow. It's actually a lighter green type thing, I think. It's like that chartreuse from Mad Mica. I love that color. It's really, really pretty. They also have this one called Mango Lassie or something that I don't know that I've talked about on the channel, but it's gorgeous too. It's all gone. I don't have any more of that because it's like an orangey and I don't have it. I don't know, actually, maybe I did use it and it's a yellowy, not an orangey, but it says mango. I'm going to assume it's orange. But anyway, I remember that one being really beautiful as well. So onto the cut. This was C-popped. This was gelled. This was put into the oven overnight and cut with all of the rest of the soaps. And look at that. I'm going to show you one right off the bat. And we have more. It's not just like a bunch of straight solid lines of color in the middle this time around for sure. But it's also not super structured because the two layers that are on top and bottom, they're supposed to have really clean lines. And just like I said in yesterday's video, it would have been really sad, really incredibly sad if I'd put a mica line down and then done that Bush League, nonsense. So, I don't know. I don't know why I'm being so picky when it comes to the soaps. I think we probably all are. Have you seen how you get whenever you go onto any of the soap forums or whatever? Somebody will post a picture of just like an absolutely beautiful soap and be like, I'm so sad. It's the worst. Oh my gosh, is it trash? And there's like nothing wrong with it. It's gorgeous soap, Or it's a completely serviceable soap regardless. And I always wonder, are they doing it to like get the accolades and be like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? It's a beautiful bar of soap. Or are they actually concerned about it? I don't have those answers. But I wonder, probably it's a mixture of both. Like sometimes people are actually concerned about it. But I'm thinking more often than not, people just really want to show off their soap and they don't want to just like toot their own horn and be like, look at my awesome soap that I made. And so they have to post it under the guise of it's ugly actually. This is what I'm thinking. And I think everybody else probably thinks that too. This isn't like awesome, mind-blowing information here. I think that we all assume that. So maybe the people that do that should stop with that. But for me, I'm being genuine. I don't like that this didn't work out here, but it is still a lovely bar regardless. So yeah, that's the May bar. Sage leaf, very, very beautiful in general. The scent, very potent, long lasting. I really enjoy the scents that have good staying power. I mean, obviously, right? But some people, they like the lighter scent. Oh, that's cute. Look at that. That looks kind of like an owl on that side. I like it. We got some cool soap Rorschach out of this. So it could be worse. I like it. That's awesome. And again, the little speckles there, that's because I cut it too soon. If you don't want that, cut it later. There's another cool owl. See, again, soap Rorschach is a lot of fun. So this is not a total waste of anything. It still looks really delightful and beautiful. And yeah, some cool swirls. You can definitely see on the right there with the pointy layers, technique going on. And it's a very cool technique when it's done across multiple. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe like a watercolor or something, the way that the yellows and the oranges sort of drag into each other or whatnot. It's not the worst thing in the world. It looks infinitely better than yesterday's soap, certainly. I need to stop doing this and saying that all these soaps are ugly. I don't like these soaps. I failed at these soaps, so how about I give them away to the sudsers? Here you go. Here's some free stuff that I hate. I don't hate any of it. It's all delightful. It's going to be a wonderful experience. But see that third bar, the blue bar? That's kind of what I was going for. Or even better, the pink bar. It has some actual swirl stuff. The original bar was very nice as well. It just, it's really discolored a lot because I think that was the coffee. But anyway, that's what's going on for the fifth bar. And I will send you back to my face to remind you how you can enter for the Sudser giveaway. And there it is, the carrot soap. And yeah, it's a very pretty bar of soap. Obviously, from performance, I really did enjoy the carrot for sure. A lot of brightening within carrot stuffs when you're dealing with cosmetics. This is a soap, so it's different. But I do like using carrots. I did like a lot of the extracts and hydrosols and whatnot that we ultimately made for this series when we did it in 2024. Loved the eye cream, good plumping, good brightening, all of the jazz for the serums and whatnot that we made as well. Very, very fun time. But as far as the soap goes, kept it kind of easy. Just did the infusion within the actual oils because that's going to be the easiest way to get them into my soap. And so the color and everything and the design, it looks a lot better than it did yesterday, for sure. It's still not, exactly perfect. When I want the swirls to be really contained within two solid color blocks, I really do need to be letting my actual soap batter firm up more. And so we'll see if I manage to do that throughout the rest of this series. But for now, yeah, that's bar 5. If you're interested in this bar, you can't buy it. You cannot. But what you can do is if you are a membered sudser, you can go over to the channel community tab, right? I will be posting a picture that is related to this video asking a question, and the membered sudsers will need to follow the instructions to answer said question, and you will then be in the running for the 12 months of soap giveaway. So that's very exciting. 10 of you are going to win that. I love that I actually got an opportunity to do it this year. Well, I mean, it's 2025, so I should have done it at the end of. Anyway, I'm making up for it because I've never missed a year of this in some form. And I couldn't leave the sudsers, you know, and not do 10 days of thanks, even though I was crazy busy and all the things. That will never be not done. So I have loved everybody participating in this so far, all the emails and everything that have come through. I'm talking about this more in a members only video because this goes out to the general public, but just here at the end, seriously, thank you. I didn't know kind of what I was missing and everything, and then I realized that what I was missing was you. You are my people, and I say that all the time, but I don't know. I feel like I need to continue saying it because whenever I see it and feel it and experience it bigly, that's when I know it's super duper true. Yes. So thank you, Sudsers. I hope you guys are having an awesome week so far. I certainly am. House is a lot quieter now that Soap and Clay Kidlets are back in school, so that's cool. As far as getting more work done, I don't know that that's really the thing. I need to go back to getting some drywalling done and onto paint today for a project that I'm working on that I am taking the membered sudsers along for. So look out for that. That one's going to be cool. Anyway, I'm out of here, but I'll see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of 10 Days of Thanks and another round of Soapy Fun. Bye.